Hey, Ugly Mug fans, Jessica here. I am going to be talking today with some really great people that we absolutely adore. They are amazing. They're awesome. So this is a group from LSU-A. And so we are going to talk today about what is going on with their students, how they're talking to their students, how they're interacting with their professors, and what they're doing during this time. And then we're also going to talk a little bit about LSU-A's foundation and what they're doing and how they're changing things. And so right before we got on, Dr. Abbey Bain is one of the people we are going to talk to, but she said that when she was getting her doctorate, they didn't prepare for a pandemic. There wasn't a class. So I love that. That was really great. So today we are going to be talking with Melinda Anderson. She is the University Advancement University Advancement Executive Director for LSUA's Foundation. We're also going to be talking again with Dr. Abbey Bain, Vice Chancellor for Enrollment and Student Engagement. And then we're also joined with Dr. Haywood Joiner, Chair of the Department of Allied Health and an Associate Professor. So, all right, how's everybody doing?
Good morning.
Great, thank you.
Awesome. So the first thing we want to kind of talk about is how has COVID-19 affected the school as a whole?
I can start. I think it's been really reshaped our entire semester. We all got into this field and have students on campus because we love working with students and we love having our colleagues, and that's our day to day. And right now that's very different. We're all at home and we've just been really challenging ourselves to still get that face-to-face interaction with students through Zoom, and we're talking to them via text message and a lot more email. So our communication is still there. We still focus on it. It just looks very different right now.
And I would agree with Dr. Bain. This has been a big change for LSU Alexandria. As she's indicated, we're all working from home now, our students, our faculty, our staff. But we have been able to make the adjustments, although it has required some major adjustments for our campus. But I think everything is working well for our students, our administrative team, our faculty, and our staff.
I would echo what both Dr. Bain and Dr. Joiner said, that the leadership really, I guess as March 13th rolled around and we knew that there would be 2 weeks before classes, boom, started online, that face-to-face classes had to make that transition. Everyone from IET to every faculty, staff, administrator had to make some changes and be flexible. And I would say that everybody rose to the occasion beautifully. And there was, from what I understand, there was very few, if any, kind of major complications or complaints for that transition. So.
Yeah, it was funny that first week that we were 100% online. We all kept calling each other, like, are you hearing of any issues? Like, have you gotten it? You know, what's gone wrong? We were all waiting for it. It was a very seamless transition, and hats off to our support departments, but especially our faculty. Like Dr. Joiner, his department, all of our faculty worked extremely hard, and no one complained, but we knew we wanted our semester to continue. We wanted our students to finish and to finish strong and to be successful. So it really has been a seamless transition to go online 100%. We have online programs already, so our faculty are used to that, and so many of them have been recognized nationally, criminal justice, psychology. So we're proud of that, and it's really worked in our favor in this semester when we had to move everything in that way.
Yeah, that's awesome. I don't think I've heard one of our people who is at Ugly Mug. She is finishing up her degree. This is her last semester, and so she has definitely said like she's still able to do everything that she needs to do, and you know we've heard great things from her. So before we get right to the students, so you said, Dr. Abbey, about how, you know, you guys communicate. How is that communication within the other professors and the other staff members of the college? How has that changed?
A lot more emails. I think we all missed just getting to come together in a conference room. We took that for granted. So, email is obviously going nonstop, but we do a lot of Zoom meetings like this. We all like that interaction. So, we still use that for a lot of our meetings that we've always had. We keep those on the calendar, so we get that interaction. And then same thing, with our phone, we're picking that up at different hours. I think now that we're working from home, the hours of 8 to 5 have definitely been blurred. Student concerns, those come up at all hours. So, it's after hours or maybe earlier in the morning. But also if you have kids at home, like myself, the middle of the day, I'm also putting my daughter down for a nap and not on a meeting. So it's a balance, and I am just appreciative that everyone's been flexible and accommodating as we're all in this together.
And I would say that there's even more communication between faculty. I'm getting more communication using Zoom than ever before. And I actually one day was on my computer from 8 in the morning until about 11 at night. And that was, I was advising students, I was communicating with my faculty, I was teaching my online classes. So I believe that there's even more communication now. It's bringing the campus, I believe, closer together. I think that we have adjusted very, very well as a campus to the results of this pandemic.
I love that. That's awesome to hear. Yeah, we have the same, we have a team meeting every Monday, and we are still having those. And we play a game usually, or some kind of something at the beginning. We've gotten very creative trying to do it through Zoom. All right, so let's jump in. How do you guys feel this is affecting your students, and what are you doing for your students during all of this?
Well, I can start from our nursing and allied health students. These students are in clinical situations, so you can actually say that they are sometimes on the front line, working in hospitals, doctors' offices, and clinics. And this is something that students have not seen in their lifetime. In fact, I haven't seen in my lifetime. So it requires major adjustments. There's some fear, there's some apprehension among the students about the possibility of becoming infected with COVID-19 and possibly bringing the infection home to family members. But I think our students have adjusted well. They realize that in the real world, when I graduate, this is something that I'm going to be faced with. And I think that they have been able to make the adjustment, and some of the fear and apprehension is no longer there. Many of our students decided to remain in clinics, although we offered them the option of withdrawing. Many of them decided to remain and complete their clinical rotations and graduate on time so that they can get out there in the workforce and actually be a part of what's going on in the treatment of patients with COVID-19. Not only nursing and allied health students, but any students who are involved in internships, no matter what department, whether it be from our College of Business, from criminal justice, psychology, arts, English, humanities, any of our programs where there are internships, there's that apprehension there. But I think our students have really adjusted well, and this is good preparation for their future. So I'm really proud of what our students have done and how they've adjusted to the situation.
I love that. That's awesome. That is awesome.
One of the big things we wanted to really instill in our students when we had this transition was, you've already overcome challenges before in your life. You've had tough times, and you came out on the other side. And we just do not want them to feel alone. There is a team of dedicated faculty and staff here that really want to know what their issue is, and we want to help them work through it. So, really just reminding them of how gritty they can be, of how strong they are, and that we're all having to solve problems that we never signed up for, right? We didn't know that this was happening, but we're all in this together. And so just reminding them, hey, you feel anxiety, you're stressed, and you are nervous about the future, like, same boat. We're all here doing that. But I have to agree with Dr. Joiner. The resiliency of our students has really impressed me. And it has been inspiring to see. There's been times where I felt frustrated, or, I would think of something like, oh gosh, how are we going to get through this? I'm like, but how are students managing to get through something that they've never done either. So, you know, as I want to inspire them, they're definitely inspiring me too. So it's been tough, and we've asked them to do things that we didn't know we were going to ask them. They didn't know it was coming, but they have really stepped up, and I hope that they've impressed themselves too. I hope that they're learning more about themselves, because Dr. Joiner is right. They're going to come through this and be so much stronger and be a problem solver and a critical thinker and a better team player and a better family member and a better civilian. You know, through these tough times is when we grow. And when we're faced with challenges, that's when our character really builds. So I'm excited to see the future of LSUA. I think that all of us are going to grow from this, especially our students. But they've been impressive, and I'm proud that they're ours.
That's awesome. Y'all have such a great, I think anybody who I've ever seen who is wearing an LSUA shirt or says that they graduate from LSUA, it is such a prideful thing, you know? And I mean, we're in a small town, you know, and everything, but it's such a pride thing. And I love just how great how much you guys love and praise your students, because, and you're right. I mean, I don't know if at 18, 19, 20, if this had happened when I was in school, if I would be prepared for all of this. And so y'all are amazing. How are you guys, so I know you said Zoom and emails, how are you guys being able to get those classes online and get the students, you know, the information that they need, and then vice versa? Is that seem to be flowing really well? Are y'all having any challenges? Things like that with communication between the professors and students?
I think things are going relatively well. There are some of our students who may not have access to broadband, et cetera, the technology, but we are compensating for that with students. We're communicating with our students that may not have the ability to go online. For a while there, our campus was open to those students, but we've had to make some adjustments, and Dr. Bain, you may want to speak to that. But I think for the most part, our students are adjusting well, and the faculty is working with the students, you know, making changes in the structure of their classes, et cetera. As indicated earlier, we were really prepared for going online through LSU Online. You know, many of our faculty had already been teaching online. Moving labs, et cetera, online was one of the issues, but I think the biology faculty, the math and physical science faculty have made the adjustment, and students are getting the knowledge that is needed in order for them to enter the workforce, the knowledge that's needed to get them to graduate on time. So I think that things are going well.
Yeah, I think we can expect that some students may really struggle. And so we want to be there to kind of nudge them when they may not know they need it yet. We have a system or a program at LSUA called LSUA Cares. And it's a way that faculty or other students or even parents can submit a student's name. And it can be anonymous, or you can say who you are and just say, hey, I'm worried about this student. You know, they haven't been logging into their class this week, and normally they're really on the ball. And so we've been getting a lot more of those, which I'm very proud of. I want those to be coming in, because that just goes to show how in tune our faculty are to their students. You're not just a number, you're not just a seat. They know when something isn't quite right, and then they can refer you to us. So in the area of student engagement, we have our counselors and our advisors and a lot of those personal support people. So that gives us the opportunity to call or to text and say, hey, we noticed you haven't been logging into psychology. Tell me a little bit about what's happening. You know, are you having internet issues? Do you need a laptop? Where's the disconnect? And sometimes it's a real issue. You know, yeah, I've been sick, or my family's sick and I'm really concerned, and school's kind of taken a back seat. And then we can work with them and their faculty on maybe extending some deadlines. Other times it's like, oh crap, you guys pay attention, let me log in. So, you know, no matter what it is, we want to be there and help them out. And so our faculty have really helped us to stay kind of in tune with students and making sure they're getting in those online classes, because they're so used to going Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or 2 days a week and sitting in that seat. and checking in that way. And now it's a little bit on them to go log in on their own. So we're there to encourage.
That's awesome. And I love that you guys have that, and you guys had that even before all of this started, right? That's awesome.
Yeah, we've been using that for a year or so, and it's been a great tool to reach out to students of concern.
That's awesome. And especially in this time, you know, I'm an in-person type of person. And so I know I would probably be struggling with online things, but that's so great. And it's so great that, you know, it may not necessarily be the faculty member, but somebody who can tell you, hey, this person needs this. So that's amazing that y'all have that. That is so great. Is there anything else that y'all want the students to know or anybody to know about what's going on at LSUA?
I think I would say I work with the foundation and with leadership, but I think one of the questions that we had talked about was different things that have had to be postponed or changed. And one of the biggest heartbreakers for all of us was not being able to hold commencement. But I would love for Abbey and Dr. Joiner to address how they are dealing with and making the most out of a difficult situation when they've worked so hard to graduate. And now, as everyone knows, graduation is just really kind of a bummer right now.
Yeah, this was probably one of the most difficult decisions that the leadership had to make. And so many of our students are first-generation college students. So that diploma means a lot, but that walk across the stage is something that they've really looked forward to. And so we hate that had to be delayed. I'm not going to say taken away, just delayed. So we invited all of our May graduates to walk in December when we feel more confident in the timing that we'll be able to gather as a big LSUA family and support them and cheer them on. But we wanted something special in May. So all of our students are going to be getting a little something in the mail with a save the date. We will still have a commencement. It will just look very different. It'll look like this on the computer, but we're still going to have our chancellor and a board of supervisors member, Blake Shotland, and our provost, Dr. Rowan B. There in their regalia and announce every student's name and make sure that name's across the screen. And we hope students can take their selfie and screenshot and watch the ceremony with their family and friends and still recognize the accomplishment that they've had. And we've just been communicating with them that although we don't have that ceremony, you know, in the Coliseum, you are still a graduate and you have worked extremely hard and you are still going to use this to be successful. And at the end of the day, that diploma means so much more than a walk, but we want them to get it. It'll just be in December.
And in addition to the commencement exercises for nursing and allied health, the pinning ceremony is really a big event in the life of those graduates. Because of COVID-19, of course, we're not able to do a face-to-face pinning ceremony this semester. So we're taking the pinning ceremonies into a virtual format. We're actually mailing the pins out to the students. We will have a Zoom pinning ceremony, and the individuals will be pinned by one of the family members of their choice within their homes. So they will still receive their pins, and we think that the event will be a great event. We didn't want to cancel it because it is such an important event in the life of an allied health graduate or a nursing graduate. So we're looking forward to that. We're going to hold it on the 13th of May, 5:30 p.m. for the allied health pinning ceremony, and I believe 6:30 for the nursing pinning ceremony. So we're excited about that. Our students are getting us the information. We will have their pictures and quotes that they live by will be flashed on the screen as their names are called, and they will again be pinned in their homes. So another change in events, but we're moving forward.
That's amazing. Like, I mean, I like teared up, which I'm a huge softie anyway, but I know so many of my friends who are nurses, and I remember seeing their pinning ceremony. I think I have a friend who's like a fourth generation nurse, and her grandmother pinned her with her great grandmother's pin. So I know how much that means. And so that is amazing that you guys thought outside the box of how we can still make this special for these students who have worked so hard. Like I'm going to start tearing up again. I'm too much of a softie. That's amazing. That really is. So when it comes to future events, so you said that, you know, the students are going to be able to walk in December. Are you guys going to just hold a huge, when everything is about to, you know, when you are able to come back, are you guys just going to make it the biggest thing to come back to?
I would say yes. I mean, the second the governor says go, we will probably have a wonderful celebration. Of course, we're celebrating the 60th anniversary of LSUA this whole year. So we had some major events in March and April that were planned. The annual Student Government Crawfish Bowl, which is huge, was supposed to be, I think, next week. Our Cochon de Lait, our community Cochon de Lait, we were bringing that back after a 10-year hiatus. That's all rescheduled or postponed. We will be doing that. The big LSU-A birthday party will be in September, assuming all stay at home is lifted. So yes, so we are just moving things from the spring to the fall, and going to hope for the best. And when we can get all back together physically, we certainly will have a wonderful celebration.
If I could mention one other thing, each year we do something called Scholars Day, where our students who are involved in research get an opportunity to present their research to faculty and to other students. We've actually moved that online this semester also. So students who have worked very, very hard to get their research done this semester will still be able to present that research. We're excited about that event also. That's going to be on May 1st.
May 1st, yes. Yes, thanks, Dr. Joiner.
Y'all are awesome. Y'all have really, you know, and I know that there's so many things, businesses, schools that just, they're like, what do we do? And it looks like you guys just really said, all right, this may be a Debbie Downer of a thing that's happening all over. We are going to make the best of it, and we are going to keep it looks like you kept the students in the forefront of how are we still going to be able to keep things going. And that's awesome.
I need to give a shout out. Of course, I think we all three would agree. Dr. Paul Carell is our chancellor, and other leadership, Dr. Rowan and Darren Thaxton, and so many others. But Dr. Carell, as our chancellor, has been such a fantastic leader during these challenging times. He has kept us faced in the right direction and kept us in our lane and kept us highly focused on what's best for LSUA and the students and this community. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. So jumping kind of now, so Melinda, you are executive director of the LSUA Foundation, and you guys do a lot of events to raise money for the school. So how is that changing? Well,
our whole focus the last 18 months was gearing up for our Fierce for LSUA first ever capital campaign. And it still is on go. It's just kind of hit a little pause button right now because it's really not the right timing. I mean, we were, 5 months into it, and we're 30% to our goal of $8 million, is to build a new student success center, all again, student focused and for student success. However, with the COVID-19, our fantastic foundation board, which is made up of 21 community members, felt like it was really time to just really hit the pause button for several months, however long, whatever this pandemic does, that we need to focus on what the university needs right now, what our students need right now. And one of the things we realized just within the last several weeks is that we had not established, and there had never really been a terrific need for it, for a general's emergency fund or a student emergency fund, whether it was geared from a pandemic or a hurricane or a flood or tornado. So we have a very generous donor who's already seeded this account with $6,000, and we have several other donors that have made have asked, how can we help these students during these trying times? And so those kind of appeals will be what our foundation focuses on and what the university needs. If the university, with budgeting, there's no telling what the state legislature budget issues will be when all this is said and done. So while the foundation and my job is typically out in the community, that's very different right now for me. The communication has increased via email and Zoom meetings and those kind of things. But I would say our foundation is, as they have been for over 20 years, just focused on what the university's highest need and priority is. Our Student Success Center will happen. It is just going to be delayed a little bit till we get through this pandemic. So.
That's awesome. And it's nice to see that you saw, okay, we need to push pause on raising money, not necessarily going out and saying, hey, but people are just reaching out. And I love that they're reaching out. And, I think that says so much about our community, that people are reaching out and saying, what can we do for your students? What can we do to help you? And
we had sorry to interrupt. We had a wonderful donor who reached out very specifically for the students who were still in housing. We have 40 students that are still living in the Oaks housing on campus, which campus looks a lot different right now because it's so quiet. And so Abbey, I know, has been highly engaged in keeping those students as connected and trying to give them special dinners, and we did gift bags for them and things like that. And there have been community members that have specifically said, how's the food pantry stocked? How are their needs? What can we do to help those students? So it's really been amazing. Our community yet again rises to the occasion for those in need or facing different challenges.
That's so awesome. I mean, if anybody gets anything out of this conversation, LSUA is completely student driven. Y'all just have taken what could have been, again, just something that I don't hate to think of what this pandemic could do, but you guys have stepped up and said, we're going to put our students first, and we are going to find ways to keep everything upbeat and going, and we're not going to let anything stop us, let alone a pandemic.
Right.
Is there anything else you guys want to make sure people know? Is there any contact information anybody should know about to get a hold of anyone?
Well, I know our LSUA Foundation.org website has all of my contact information, but LSUA.edu has everybody's contact information, faculty, staff, Chancellor. If anybody needs anything, just please reach out. Because we want to help. We've had several students on a whole different level that have wanted to transfer in. Maybe they are in New Orleans and don't want to be in New Orleans, or they're in Baton Rouge and they want to come back home. So there are a lot of different reasons that people need to talk to people at LSUA, and Shelley Gill and her team are there to help those transitions, transfers, or first-time freshmen, all that. So LSUA.edu would be my mantra.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, campus looks different and we may not be there, but we are all still very much here to serve students, and our mission is still the same, and we are very student-centered. So now I think more than ever, I'm very inspired to be a part of the LSUA family. We've really come together through this and thought critically and worked through some problems. And I think, and I really hope our students see that. I just want them to know how supported they are, and if they need anything, we are here for them. And so if anyone is watching that knows of a student at LSUA or a prospective student who may need some additional assistance, please let us know. All of our information is on the website, or they can do an LSUA Cares as well. And we're still working with our high school students who will be transitioning to LSUA. Once again, doing a lot of Zoom. But we don't want them to hit pause or feel like they can't continue that. We are all still here and happy to help them.
Yes.
Thank you.
Team LSUA is still in business, and I take the letters in the word team together. Each accomplishes more, and we've been able to do that. So we're excited about where we are. We're excited about where we're going as a university.
Yes, indeed.
That's awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for your time and for just this chat. This has been inspiring. Again, I love everything that y'all said. I took little notes as we were talking, just so many beautiful things that you guys said. And we will put some contact information and everything in the post about for this. And thank you guys so much for joining me, and everyone else, have a great and wonderful day.
Thanks, you too.
Have a
Go
great
Generals.
day.